everyone and welcome to Cape Town for Formula E's first ever race in South Africa. My name is Darren Adetossier.
I'm Saunders CV.
And Saunders, how exciting that we're finally here. I mean, this is a race that we've all been looking forward to so much.
For sure, it's so exciting. I mean, just look where we are. Look at the backdrop. The city that we're racing is incredible.
Beautiful.
The track looks really good as well. It looks fast, it looks very entertaining. It's a good race is going to happen on that for sure.
Oh yeah.
But also I'm finding that the locals here are so excited about the race this weekend. You know, it's been coming for months, you know, almost a year of anticipation building up to this weekend, and now it's finally here, coming off the back of an action-packed race in Hyderabad.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you could possibly be more excited for a Formula E race than we are for this one this weekend.
Oh yeah, it's going to be mega. And of course, for a pit lane preview show, that's going to be fantastic as well, right? What have we got coming up?
It's jam-packed, this pit lane preview show. We've got loads of good stuff. First up, we're going to be talking to Kelvin van der Linde. This is obviously a home race for him as a South African. He's very excited, as are all the locals, to watch him race here. And we put your fan questions to Dan Ticktum.
Oh yeah, he's really a fan favourite these days, loving it. Looking forward to seeing his response to everything. And of course, thanks to you all for sending your questions in. As always, they're amazing.
He's not always one to have that much of a filter, Dan Ticktum, so I'm going to be watching that one with interest.
Yep.
That should be really good. But we're also going to be talking to the two Nissan drivers, Sacha, Fenestraz and Nato, about the start to their season so far.
But first up, it wouldn't be a pit lane preview show without one of Saunders' amazing recaps. So let's take a look at everything that's happened and what to look forward to this weekend.
So with another new race location to take on, the championship is heating up, and there are a few things we need to be looking out for ahead of this weekend's race on the streets of Cape Town in South Africa. So let's take a look at what they are, starting with what we learned from Formula E's first visit to India.
For the first time, we go green in Hyderabad.
Jean-Eric Vergne was back on the top step of the podium, the double champion turning things around for DS Penske after a pretty rough start to the season. It was a well-fought victory, not easy in the slightest, cutting it very fine on energy, in a race that, due to some incidents, didn't end up being as tough on energy as it could have been. Something a few of the drivers who have been struggling to manage energy during the races so far this season were able to capitalise on. There was less than a second between Vergne and Nick Cassidy behind after the absolutely epic race in Hyderabad. Vergne was the only driver who started the race in the top 8 to finish inside the top 8, which speaks volumes about the kind of race that it was. There's still work to be done for DS Penske, but Jev's win is a huge lift for the team, as they show further signs of moving in the right direction. Van Dorn's race performance, making up 9 positions, including 4 in the first lap, is another example of this. When we take a look at the championship standings, an interesting story starts to present itself. In the driver standings, 5 of the top 6 drivers are powered by just 2 powertrains. So in terms of where good results have been and where they might be in Cape Town, we should be keeping a firm eye on the Porsche-powered Tag Heuer Porsche and Avalanche Andretti, and the Jaguar-powered Envision and Jaguar TCS racing teams. Coming into this race, Wehrlein tops the standings, 18 points ahead of Dennis, who is 31 points ahead of Vergne, where things get much closer, only 10 points separating 3rd and 9th. But this could have been a very different, much closer picture after Hyderabad if it wasn't for the self-inflicted Jaguar disaster.
The two Jaguars collide! Bird hits Evans!
Both Jaguar-powered teams showed impressive one-lap pace and a big step up in efficiency to close the gap to the Porsche and Andretti teams. So even though it didn't pan out too well for the manufacturer team in India, both Jaguar and Envision can head into Cape Town with a lot of confidence in their cars as the battle at the top continues. But perhaps where the most interesting element of this battle lies is the difference between qualifying and race performance. In Hyderabad, 3 out of 4 Jaguar-powered cars made it into the qualifying duels, adding to the already impressive one-lap performance. Mitch Evans and Sebastian Buemi especially. Whereas neither of the Porsches or Andretti cars made it past the qualifying groups. In the race, however, things were very different and the Porsche-powered cars were looking more competitive. Between the 4 cars, 29 positions were gained in Hyderabad, their race performance a step above the rest of the grid. But they play a dangerous game, leaving themselves with all of the work and risk to be taken during the races. The unpredictable nature of Formula E racing means that anything can happen, and if something does happen, with the field as close as it is, there's a chance you could get caught up in it. Which is exactly what happened to a few drivers who had qualified very well in India, Maximilian Günther and Sacha Fenestraz, to name just two. You want to leave yourself with as little to do in the races as possible to convert grid position into points, podiums and wins. So qualifying outside of the top 8 or even lower increases the risk substantially, giving yourself much more to do during the race, not to mention the extra energy that's needed to make overtakes. It worked out well in India for the likes of former champion Antonio Felix da Costa, who made up 10 places and secured his podium in his Porsche, with teammate Wehrlein just behind, having made up 8 places. But second in the standings, Jake Dennis was a perfect example of when things don't go to plan, as he went from a podium position to being the last driver to finish the race. So even though the Porsche-powered teams are on top in the standings, with race performances that have earned them wins and podiums so far, improving qualifying position is still a top priority.
So those are just a few of the things to be looking out for ahead of Formula E's first race on the streets here in Cape Town. Now this circuit looks good, it looks quick, but it looks energy hungry, which means those teams and drivers that have fared well in races so far with efficiency could be favoured here, and those that have struggled in the races so far might find this a challenge. But they have to qualify first, and that has been one of the key storylines of the season so far, the qualifying pace and performance versus the race performance, and what that does for the overall result come the end of the race. Will it be the same here in Cape Town? Time will tell.
What a race and what a performance from Jean-Eric Vergne to hold on there. I mean, he must be feeling pretty confident going into this weekend. What do you think, Saunders?
I mean, that was a proper battle, wasn't it?
I know.
It looks amazing. I mean, confidence for sure, a huge boost in uplift in spirit and morale for DS Penske. Didn't necessarily have a great start to the season, but I don't think it's all sorted yet. Because I don't think Hyderabad was a necessarily typical energy management circuit of Formula E. Because of what happened in the race, it wasn't like a true energy management test, where I think here might be, because it's fast, it's going to be very demanding on energy. So although that's great for Jev, if they're going to do it again here, maybe then their problems are sorted. Yeah,
of course. As you said, new circuit, new challenges for everyone. So I guess it's probably going to act a bit of a reset.
Absolutely. No one has any experience here. There's no advantage. But if you were to have an advantage, the only way that would come is if you're racing on home soil. And there's only one driver in the grid that can say that, Mr. Kelvin van der Linde, who we caught up with.
I'm Kelvin van der Linde, 26-year-old racing driver for Abt Cupra in Formula E, born in Johannesburg, South Africa. I started racing when I was 8 years old. Relatively speaking, it's probably a bit late compared to the youngsters nowadays, but I started my career in South Africa. And yeah, me and my dad, we kind of operated out the back of a van, did the karting thing as a, let's say a family team, and slowly, step by step, we made our way up to the motorsport ranks. It was cool, very light-hearted, I have to say. You know, we're a very easygoing nation, not as competitive as things are in the UK or in Europe. So it was let's say, a chilled preparation for what was to come. As a country, we're very passionate about motorsport. We love cars, we love the tuning industry. You'll see everybody, especially here in Cape Town, it's a big thing. So yeah, the fans love their motorsport. Unfortunately, it has taken a bit of a plateau in recent years, but I'm hoping with a bit more presence, with me and my brother being overseas, we can reignite that flame in the racing fans and see it come back to the highs. I think it's just another iconic city on the calendar. You know, we go to places like New York, London. Cape Town is one of those iconic cities in the world, and yeah, just that diverse presence of having another African country on the calendar. I think we have a lot to bring as a nation. Already mentioned, we've got so many different talents, especially in the engineering industry. We have a lot of very talented people here, and yeah, just excited to see how it's embraced by the local fans. My brother, we have two big international events. He's on the endurance racing side in Johannesburg, racing for BMW, and I'm obviously here representing in Formula E. So we split the family duties. My mom's in Johannesburg with my brother, and my dad will be flying to Cape Town to come support here, which is, it's great to have, you know, obviously that family presence, and having both of us racing on the weekend is a cool thing for South Africa, and obviously a very proud moment for everyone involved.
thanks very much to Kelvin, who once again will be sitting in for Robin in Abt Cupra this weekend.
Yep.
Now, Saunders, do we have an update for Robin and his recovery?
We do. The recovery is going well. Everyone will be pleased to hear. He did a sim session, did a prep day. Everything went fine, no issues, but the doctor's advice was just don't push it. Maybe don't jump into a very intense racing championship like Formula E on a new circuit and risk all of the quick recovery that he's done thus far, and then maybe putting himself out for even longer. So the idea is sit out for this race.
Yeah.
He's got a nice long 4 or 5 week gap before Brazil where he can get fully recovered.
Okay, makes sense. Well, we look forward to having you back in the paddock, Robin. But now it's time for our fan questions part of the show, and this week we've put your questions to Neo333's Dan Ticktum. He's been amazing in qualifying, he's been lighting up social media,
Sure.
but now it's time to hear what he's had to say in response to your questions.
Racing idols probably James Hunt and Senna. Riyadh's got to be in there for Sector 1, the fast flowing bit, and what's very pretty. I mean, here it's pretty pretty, but obviously I've not driven it here, so I can't really say yet. But Riyadh, let's go Riyadh and New York. That'd be pretty cool. Eminem. Margot Robbie. I think winning from the back's pretty special. I've had some races in my career where I've come from quite far back and been on the podium or won, so they're probably the most enjoyable races, yeah. I definitely feel more confident this season. Obviously, there's quite a few new tracks this year, so I can't really build on too much from last year, and obviously we've got a new car as well. But arriving at some of the tracks, hitting the ground running again is quite a lot easier, to be honest. And I know some of the drivers very well now, and I just generally feel more comfortable, so it's good. I think it's a very 50-50 one, that, from people I've asked, but I would say a no from me. No, I'm a very non-superstitious person. I do like to have an espresso before most sessions. That's normally my thing, yeah. How would I? Oh. I don't know, it depends what's around. If there's a pool around, if the sea's around, it depends really. See, I don't want to sound, what would be cool? Again, I've not thought about this one. I do think I have always thought about being in London and going down towards Buckingham Palace, then up Park Lane and then back round. So like maybe just more central in London would be pretty cool. I can't put my finger on a song, but it'd probably be something hip hop related, like my favourite artists. You know, the big ones, Dre, 50 Cent, even like D12, Eminem, all those ones. Can't think of a song right here though, if I'm honest.
Excellent stuff from Dan Ticktum there. Thank you very much for your questions. I love Ticktum's honesty.
Me too.
He's very much a developing character in Formula E, and we look forward to seeing what he gets up to next. Now, whenever we come to a new city, you like to get out there, get amongst it, take in the sights.
Yes.
How was it this time around?
You know what, I'm not going to give too much away. We've put together a very fun city guide for you if you're visiting Cape Town. So this is Cape Town Discovered. Hope you enjoy. Hi everyone, I'm Darren Adetossier and welcome to Cape Town for the first ever race in South Africa for the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. And what a location for us to be racing in. I'm absolutely buzzing to be here and so excited to take you along with me as I explore the city for the first ever time. So starting off, I'm here on Signal Hill, and just behind me is Lion's Head, and of course the iconic Table Mountain. Now this is all part of the Table Mountain National Park, which is the most visited national park in all of South Africa, and coming here I can totally see how. Now this is known for its hiking because you get some incredible views of the city, but don't worry, if you're not up for hiking, a bit like me, then there is a cable car which is available, so no judgment over here. This is the Victorian Alfred waterfront, named after Queen Victoria and her son Prince Alfred after his visit here in 1860. Now, a fun little fact, Cape Town is actually the oldest working harbour in the Southern Hemisphere, but it's not just the harbour to look forward to here. There's also an aquarium, skate park, bars, restaurants, you name it. So if you're in the city, you should definitely take a walk along this famous waterfront. Now, of course, you can't come to South Africa without trying some wine, and I've come to Groots Constantia, which is just on the other side of Table Mountain, which is one of the most renowned vineyards in the whole of Cape Town, so I'm buzzing to be here. And to give me a bit of a wine tasting, I'm joined by Kyle, and I'm very excited, Kyle. Wow, that is amazing. Not far from the city centre is Boa Cap, which is one of the oldest and most historic neighbourhoods in the city. It was originally built for the Cape Malay slaves, but after slavery was abolished in 1834, the residents painted their houses these bright colours to celebrate their freedom. So if you come here today, you should definitely check out the museum to learn more about the history, take some photos in front of the brightly coloured houses, or discover some of the amazing Cape Malay cuisine. And finally, we can't do a tour of Cape Town without visiting one of the amazing beaches. Now, this is Clifton Beach, but just outside of the city centre, there are several others with some amazing views. So if you're out and about, you should definitely come and check these out. Come and take a dip in the ocean, catch a suntan, try out one of the traditional barbecues known as braai, or of course, watch one of the stunning sunsets that happen here. So as you can see, there's so much to do and discover in Cape Town, but don't forget to join us this weekend for round 5 of the AVB FIA Formula E World Championship.
Darren, I don't think I've been more jealous than I am right now of any of your city tours. That was amazing. You packed so much into one day.
Oh my gosh, Saunders, I honestly had the best time. I know that I say this for a few races, but I do have to say this is the top one out of all of them that's so far. Cape Town is such a beautiful city, so much to do and see here. So yeah, if it's not on your bucket list already, I'd definitely add it onto it.
And you've got a hit list now to check out. But back to the racing for now. Now, there's one team that this season so far haven't necessarily got the points that they've been wanting or potentially deserved with some of the pace and moments they've shown, and that is Nissan. Now, we like to dig deep and find out what's been going on with the team in a season, how things have worked, how things haven't worked, and who better to ask than the two drivers themselves, Norman Nato and Sacha Fenestraz.
So Hyderabad 2 weeks ago, how was it?
Well, a lot of things happened there. At the end was okay, I would say, in terms of performance, that we managed to score some points. You did in the area, I did in India, but a bit frustrated as we could have scored big points with both cars. I had a puncturing race. We know what happened to you. So, but it's showing that everything is going in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. It was a tricky weekend overall, but I think we've been progressing since Mexico quite a lot, which is a positive thing. Of course, you were unlucky in Mexico with the contact in the first lap, but then India, yeah, I think it was clearly showed the progression we're doing throughout the season so far. Of course, there's going to be ups and downs. At the moment, I think India was a bit, even though the result was not too bad, I think it was a bit down for us because we could have scored really good points, but this is racing, so let's see Cape Town.
Yeah, so here we are, Cape Town. First time for me, I don't know about you, but so far, yeah, we had the experience to do some lunch and did a bit like do some activities together, but I don't know about your feeling, but I love it.
Yeah, Cape Town is good. People are really nice. Boat race, we did some boat racing stuff. We got really wet, really cold water, but it was definitely fun. We mount, I don't know where, but one of the mountains behind us. It was really cool.
And food is good as well.
And food is really, actually lunchtime was really good. So at the moment, enjoying, let's see the race, that's the most important. So we've been driving the sim for 2 or 3 days. What's your comments about it? It's a fast track, huh?
Fast, I think that's the word, yeah. And yeah, you know, like after shakedown and FP1, we can maybe tell a bit more about it. But so far, like just the location of the track is amazing, and as you just said, like this one is the fastest one of the season. So
yeah, we'll need some underwear changes for us. So we'll see how fun it's gonna be.
So yeah, you are rookie in Formula E, so tell us about your experience so far since the beginning of the season.
It's an interesting season. It's been very busy, very busy. We had nearly, let's say, 4 back-to-back races because we finish a week and we go straight to the simulator. So it's been one of the busiest start of season of my career, I think, and I think same for everybody. So it's good. It's very intense. Having races in one day, sometimes everything in one day. When you're racing between the walls, the stress is high and stuff. So it's cool. It's a great championship between drivers. It's really fun. Also, races until India, it's more or less clean. So it's quite cool.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Like for me, it's not a rookie season, but I'm happy to be back full-time drive this year. And as you say, like the atmosphere between the drivers and physically as well. The championship is like really demanding in terms of focus that you have to have, and even between the races, you don't have so much time to have a race because you have to prepare the other race, which is coming pretty quickly. Being in the simulator, the travel, but we are really happy to win this championship, and we're having fun.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward actually to Brazil. I think it's going to be, well, it's the closest race to my hometown. So I've got about 10 friends coming over from Argentina. So I think the race I'm most looking forward is Brazil. And you?
I'm looking forward to go to Brazil as well. Cape Town, I heard so much about Cape Town, so I'm really happy to be here and discover Brazil. And but Monaco, it's the one.
It's the one. Right, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Thanks very much to Sacha and Norman, but now it is time to look ahead to the race this Saturday.
Yes.
Saunders, you know what's coming. It's that part of the show where I'm going to ask for your predictions. What are we thinking?
So as we've discussed so far in the pit lane preview, there are these interesting stories that have developed. We've got the Porsche-powered Porsche and Andretti, the Jag-powered Jag and Envision, pretty much dominating the top 6. But will that translate into this race? Here's my theory.
Okay, here we go.
My theory is, and I say this because I love a redemption story, is Jag disaster in Hyderabad, but all the signs are there. Good qualifying performance, something that the Porsches don't have, and ever improving race efficiency, something that is going to be crucial here. So my prediction is that we're going to see the second Jag podium of the season, maybe even a Jaguar win.
Oh,
that's it. Just simply saying that.
Okay.
But it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easily found.
Yeah.
But that's my prediction. That could happen.
There we go. Thank you for that, Saunders. What an exciting race we have coming up this Saturday. Let us know in the comments down below what your predictions are, if they compare to Saunders or a little bit different. And make sure to join us this Saturday for the 2023 Cape Town E-Prix.